Hi, Annemieke, and lovely to see you again. And we've spoken a couple of times and exchanged some emails. And yeah, you have a very interesting story in terms of your life and realization. So it would be nice if you could share that.
Yes. Hi, David.
Hi.
Amazing to be here again. Yes. Well, I think one of the most things that is because my life has been so effortlessly. So it's like I came into life, and if I came into life in this body, effortlessly, everything went effortlessly. There was like a great family, a lot of love, approval. Everything was there. Money was there. Everything went effortlessly. But from there, when I was young, I saw that people started to be a little bit jealous of that. It was like, oh my God, your life goes too effortlessly. That's not normal. Or even though a lot of times people said to me, you have to suffer. You have to suffer. That should be taken away from you. That should be taken away from you. And then you will know what life is. And I felt like something was not true. And on the other side, there was the part of me that said, oh my God, it's too easy. It's too effortlessly. That can't be true. So I started to become a little bit smaller and smaller. I didn't want to be seen so much anymore around between my 20s and my 30s. And then I had my children. Well, life still went okay, but more and more effort came in. And then I met somebody who brought me to the Course of Miracles. And then I went onto a path of the Course of Miracles, which I used to make myself smaller. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Yes, I really used it to really go into all the energy that was like, oh no, no, no. And of course, with the jealousy I felt around me was like, something is very, very wrong with me, with my life, with the effortlessly, with the ease. That's not supposed to be like this. So then I divorced my husband, my first husband, the father of my children, who was a nice guy, a nice man, a beautiful man, also very effortless marriage. But I'm really guided to go away. I was completely guided to go away. Again, effortlessly. And then I met my second husband, and there I had a marriage which was with much beautiful things, very effortlessly, and a lot of suffering. But it was really the time to go inside and to find myself, but I didn't know what myself was. So I searched. I did everything. I did courses, whatever I could. I could read books, courses, I did. And my husband allowed me to do it. So it was amazing. There was effortlessly, again, and easy. I received the money to do it, every course I could do. I met a lot of great teachers. I invited a lot of great teachers, even in my home. And but I always felt something is missing. I don't know what, but the Course of Miracles brought me so much, but something is missing, and I didn't know what it was. So 3 years ago, well, I felt it already 8 years ago, that I had to go away from my husband. But there was so much fear, so much. I didn't know who I really was anymore. I was so little at that time, so small. I made myself so small. I really went into the invitation of being small, of being not good enough, of being not having any worth. everything about smallness. All the ego really wants us to absorb, not smallness in, you can't imagine.
Mm.
And so I felt it, so I stayed. And even that was good because it didn't feel safe enough. I didn't feel safe enough to go away.
Mm.
So in the 5 years, I learned more about safety, about finding safety in myself and starting to find, I don't know, effortlessly, other people came into my life. Even in the Course in Miracles, other teachers came into my life who were joyous, who were happy. And I, what? So that helped me, like Lisa Natoli and so on. So something happened. There came more joy into it. And then I felt, no, I have to let go of the Course in Miracles. It's not my way. I let it go. So I let it go. And then 3 years ago, I divorced my husband. I had to leave everything, the job I loved, the amazing place I lived, all the comfort, all the money, even the man, because I loved him very much, but in a toxic relationship or a hard relationship, I didn't want to be there anymore. I knew that even that can be sacred and easy. So I knew, even though it was very hard, it was very painful, I had to go through that. And it felt like my crucifixion and a revelation to something else, which I didn't know. And then a year later, or even not, my daughter-in-law talked about the secret because she knew I needed money. And I started to read The Secret, and I had something, no, too much effort. Again, for me, was everything what was too much effort, I say no to. My whole life, everything needed to come easily and effortlessly. Even I was invited to do so many meditation practice, other things, everything I had to do practice, I said no to. It was like I started it and then was too much practice, too much effort. No, it has to come easily. But still then I thought like, I'm not good enough because you see, I don't put discipline in it. I don't put effort in it. It's too easy. Although deep inside, I always felt that the path of ease is the path of love. It's the path of God. I have, as a child, when I went out in the dark, when I was very little, around 9 years old, talking to the stars, talking to God, it was like, God, thank you. I could only be in gratitude for, thank you. Even, I don't know where to thank for, but the only thing I felt was gratitude. And my heart was always open to gratitude and joy and happiness and spontaneous things. And then I felt like the word coming to me, like, oh my God, there is so much happiness and so much pain and so much suffering, and I'm here like a flower blooming and only saying thank you, God, and I'm so happy and I'm so grateful. But I couldn't bring it together, you know. It was like there was like really a duality into that.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Did you spend about 20 years seeking then? You mentioned.
Oh yes, of course. Maybe my whole life I seeked, because my grandfather's side of my father, he wanted to be a priest, so he studied his studies for priest, philosophica and theologic. So I was very attracted to him, and he wrote a lot of books. He even wrote the book of Jeanne d'Arc.
Oh yes.
Which, on the moment I knew, I felt something clicking into me, which I couldn't understand.
Wow.
Now I know. And my other grandfather, he had a bookshop only about Catholicism. So I was always surrounded by priests, very high placed priests.
Mm.
And I felt attraction to everything what had to do with God, everything what had to do with Christ. I had always a very deep sense of being helped by Jesus. He came a lot of times in my awareness, in meditation, when I did breath work. It was always Jesus who was with me all my time. I felt him in my back. I felt him near to me. I felt him when I walked up. I felt him in the stars. I felt him everywhere. And I knew that everything that they were talking about was not true. I felt it. I had always a sense that I have to learn. I did my school and I said, what are they talking about? What do I have to learn? I want to learn something else. I want to learn, I don't know what. I knew that's not what I want to learn.
So you're intuitive really from very early in life.
Yes.
So you kind of saw through lots of things, even when you were
Yes. The only thing that interested me was everything about Egypt, the pyramids, and I started very young. I started looking into what's that about? What happened before? What is it? What is the energy? I was very much interested in everything that we didn't see.
Yes.
But I couldn't name it. I couldn't place it. I couldn't till I found the book. My daughter-in-law gave me the book of The Secret, The Magic, because there's another book of Rhonda Byrne.
Yes.
Then I said, okay, my money will come effortlessly. I leave it alone because in the backside or somewhere, I found The Greatest Secret. I said, what is that? There's still a greatest secret. I need to see that. And I got the book. And as soon as I got the book, I felt the vibration, and the book was something in me started to trembling, and I started reading. And on one day I read the whole book and I said, that's it. That's what I wanted to see. And then I found all the teachers and I started to look for it, and I found about you, and immediately I need to go and find David. And then we started talking. I heard you talking about effortlessly, about the ease, and then you asked me your questions you do, and I had, wow, oh my God, I feel it. That's it. That's what I am. But then still I had like, it's too easy. Can't be that. And I went for another year. It's very difficult. But I also found the Sedona method. And I started to learn everything about the Sedona method. And then I was like, oh my God, the only thing I have to see is that I believe that I am a person. I'm separate. And as soon as I know I'm not a person, I'm not separate, I am that, I am the field, I am the consciousness, I am everything that is already here, have always been here, have always been with me, even if I mentioned the name of Jesus, but I am the same consciousness. There is no difference. So it opened up, and still I had to go through the dark side of the soul, the crucifixion. I call it the crucifixion because it was so painful. It was like all the beliefs, I'm not good enough. It played out, and on the same moment when that played out, also the other part played out. Effortlessly, everything came to me. So I had always the two sides, the dark side and the bright side. The yin yang was there completely. Everything I have been doing in my life, it was the whole puzzle came together. It's really like, oh my God. And still I was really believing I'm not there yet. Till I heard you, I don't know with what woman you talked about it. I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. But then I had, oh my God, but I am. It's just a little belief that I'm not there yet. But it's still something that wants to pull me, and you're not good enough. You're not there yet. You're not. It's just the invitation. Now I see it. I heard you mention it, but now I use that. It's just invitations into feeling and into believing, into sensing, because I'm so sensitive into energy. So I feel them immediately, and I can see there is an invitation into the sensation. But that I allow now. I completely allow, because I see the body can be. The body is still like, how do you say it? How do you call it? It carries things. It carries, the cells carry things. So it's just by allowing them, but opening up. But now I know I am the field that is really lovingly allowing it. There's no me doing anything. There is no doer anymore. It's just allowed. It's already allowed. Love is already carrying it like a mother. And that is like, okay, you can pass through me like the blue sky. It's just a cloud. It's passing. It's energy passing, and it passes, and I see it, and I'm there, and it opens up, and there it is.
Did you find there was an acceleration prior to realization? Because sometimes, well, you mentioned there was a sort of dark night which you experienced, and how long did that last? Was that just for a few weeks, or how long did that go on for?
No, it was longer, because let's say that it's now 2 years, 2.5 years that I found the book. And what maybe 2 years ago, the first time we had our session. Yes, and then I went really in dark night. So I think a huge year.
Right. Yes.
But it was like the invitation of feeling not worthy, not good enough, was so big that I couldn't believe the other side.
Right. Yes.
It was, I pushed it away. I couldn't also believe it was so easy, even though my whole life was all about ease and effortlessly.
Yes.
And then it was, well, oh yes, that's very, very amazing. Something happened so, again, easily and effortlessly. I had no money anymore. I was working in a bakery, and I felt strange energy coming in, and then we had COVID, and I didn't want to go into whole the energy that was asked from the boss. And I said, no, I stopped working, even though there was very, well, I had no money anymore. But then easily again, my dad offered me money. So I got money again to live. And then my son said to me like, Mom, what if you rent your house? You come living with us. We have 3 babies. You can take care of the babies. And so it's win-win. And I went to there. And then I saw that my daughter-in-law had a more difficult way to I know it's not easy to have a mother-in-law coming in your house and do your whole housework. And after 4 or 5 months, they told me, really, Mom, you do a great job. You do many, many nice things, but maybe it's time to go to do your life. And I hoped, I thought that it would be only in 2 years, because I rented my house for 2 years. So no house, because I can't go back, because when you rent it for a short time, you can't put out the other person, and no money. And so all of a sudden I felt I have to go on travel. And I went for 5 weeks to my brother, who is living in Andalusia. And there, being in the sun, being on my own, exactly being on my own, coming to my senses, coming to myself, coming back to the basic. I started to feel, I followed my heart. I started, because my son really said, Mom, go and find out what you really want to do. Go and found out what you really what's your heart's desire. What do you love to do? Can you imagine that? My son, I can weep when I think about it. So I started to do it there. When I felt like I want to go for a coffee, I just went. I want to go to the sea, I just went. I want to go for a walk. So effortlessly again, I started to follow the little nuts of the heart. And this was a revelation for me. And then I met people who really taught me that life is all about love. Follow the path of love. And I have been to a retreat in October with Ruper Spira in England. And he told me the same thing. He told me really go from love to love to love, and life will reveal to you whatever you need. Which was again the effortlessly thing that came to me. When I came back from my son, so I felt like, yeah, I have to go now. And yeah, I'm mentioning two things together, but it's okay. So I around the beginning of and the end of April, a friend called me from there. She said, would you like to come and take care of the house, do some house sitting in Andalusia? I thought, oh, wow, again, I can go to there. And I went there. And when I was there, she called me back and she said, can you come back in June? And then something in me said, I'm not going back for a month to Belgium. No, I'm going to stay here. And then I said, I'm going to Mooji. Because since weeks and a year, I felt I want to go to Mooji. I want to go on a retreat. But I knew inside it was not really going to Mooji. I wanted to go to retreat in myself, with myself. But I needed a place to be for a long time in myself, with myself. So I went off. I did something completely new. I could, my brother said, you can use my camper can, my mobile home. Again, effortlessly, it came to me. So I went off. I did things I never did before, camping in the wild, meeting people, many, many things. So I met Mooji 4 times, effortlessly. I just bumped into him. And when I was there was a very, very beautiful energy of love. And also I felt the energy of devotion. But the devotion to person also. And then I saw, oh, wow, that's not it. Even though there's a beautiful energy around there. But the devotion to a person, I saw it immediately. I said, no. And I had many people who were against me in the beginning. I was pushed away again, like, oh, no, you're not devoted enough. You're not, again, like something not good enough. I saw the invitation. I didn't went to there. I felt so clearly, no, it's about the pointings who are amazing. It's not about a person. And I don't want to be in an ashram to be in the devotion of a person. I want to be in the ashram of God, of the universe, of the field, of the consciousness. So then I saw effortlessly, I started telling that to some persons around there, and everybody opened up effortlessly again. And for me, it was a revelation, because finally, I felt like I could trust my intuition. I could trust, I don't know what word to use. I could trust myself, really. And I came back, and the first thing I did was started to listen again to you, to the other people who had the conversations with the people who wake up and who woke up. And clutch, it was there completely. It was like, oh my God. that's it. I am already awake. I am it. And since then, it's complete revelation. And I felt like I can only say my heart bursted open, joy and gratitude, like since I was the child again. And also the gratitude for my dad, who is so amazing for me, who is like God in person now, because I had it very difficult when I was young, but now I could see how he always supported me. Go your path. You have the power. You have everything in you, and I will support you financially, with love. Go, go, go. So even now when I'm thinking, my life, David, it's like the divine. It's I don't know the words because it's so difficult to say, but it's like I have been born already in a divine net, carried, loved, cherished. There is only gratitude in me. There is really only gratitude. And my life is effortlessly. And even though I had so much jealousy because of that in my life from other people, maybe I triggered a lot of people because of that. I know, because my heart is so open. I know that even in them, I touched the ease and the effortlessly. Even maybe they don't know it yet, but I feel it, because there is a sense of knowing now that the divine is working through me to bring effortlessly and ease into life. I don't have to do anything. And now I know there is no, I know since I heard you saying it, since whatever, because my life always went so effortless, there is no doer. But I thought I was a thinker, but I thought all the bad things, all the difficult things was because I thought so. So I was a thinker. But no, I know I'm not a thinker. Thoughts are only appearing and I can hook on them or no more. So I see the shift is going so quickly now, because it's only an invitation. Like I heard you mention, as soon as I heard you saying that, I knew, like, oh my God, that's the word I really needed. The invitation into something. As soon as I had that, it was clear, completely clear.
Wonderful.
And now it's like, I'm open to the divine. My grandfather, I see like everything in life was around God, around God. Christ. I have been all my life. I searched for Christ everywhere. I went to churches. I have always been meditating. And when I did meditation, I went into churches. I wanted, even with my parents, we always went visiting churches. And I had to be in them. I don't know why I wanted to be in them. And I wanted to just before the altar, or how do you say it in English? To stay there. And it was like, I receive here. I don't know why. I never could explain it, but I felt it since I was very, very young.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I
Yeah,
know I don't know.
yeah.
And
I like the way you, before we started recording the conversation, you were mentioning the way you had a particular invitation when you were traveling along, and there was a sort of story which was presented to you, which was inviting you into suffering to do with the past and to do with your relationships.
yes.
But you saw that immediately, and that's
Yes.
it's.
Yes.
I really like the way you describe that, because it just shows the way the invitation comes in, and then there can be an emotional trigger, and then the realization
Yes.
of what it's trying to invite us into.
Yes, I think two things are beautiful. It's the one that when I traveled, and then the other thing about the persecution that I
Yes.
just saw when we were talking.
Yes.
So I saw that the jealousy I felt, and when I was really into everything is easy and effortless for me, and then I felt the jealousy of the others who said, no, 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 that's not possible, and you don't suffer again. You need to suffer. You need to suffer. And I didn't know what's happening. And for the moment, I am in Rennes-les-Bains and Rennes-le-Château, the place where was thought that Mary Magdalene, but it seems to be it's not true. I don't know. I don't care. It's not about that. But I feel many things here, and I was wondering, why am I here? But that's the place, the Qataren. It's called the Qatar, Carcassonne de Qatar, where the Qatar. How do you call them in English? Qatars.
Yes,
The
it's
place.
the same actually. I think
It's the same. The Qatars who were killed because they left from joy and love. They knew that they didn't want to be, and they didn't want to be to do anything with religion, because they knew God was a God of love, of joy, of happiness. So of course they needed to be killed. They were too dangerous. And all of a sudden, when I told you that, I felt that was it. What I always felt was the deep fear of persecution, which remembered me immediately when my grandfather wrote the whole book about Jeanne d'Arc. I have been persecuted.
Yes.
And that fear came back, like, I can't talk about these things. My life is too easy. I will be persecuted again.
Yes.
And because I saw that now, and now I know also why I'm here, to see really that, and to do something with, not just to see the invitation and to really clear that out of the whole system, also in the system of my body, but because when I talked about it with you, I felt how my body went into tension, and there was many energies in the solar plexus and in the throat, and fear came in, and huge things. So I saw the invitation, and I just allowing it, like godly, divinely allowing it to pass through this energy. Wow, it went out of the system. And maybe it will come back, but I know it's just, it's okay. Whatever will happen, it's not about me anymore. And then the other thing, while I was traveling here, easily my brother offered me to bring me to this place. And I saw very beautiful nature. And when I saw that, I had immediately a memory coming in when I was with my husband and had a great time together. And I felt immediately grief coming in, and a lot of sadness. I couldn't talk anymore. The tears came over. And all of a sudden I was aware of, oh, wow, this is an invitation into grief, into sadness, into memory that I am a person and separate. And in a few seconds, I could see it, and poof, the whole thing was gone. Bye. What was this? And I said to my heart, what was that? It was really like, and we laughed so much because I think an hour later, we went picnicking, and we opened the two windows of the car, and a bee came in, and she entered one window, and we both saw her enter. We said, oh no, she can't stay here. And she went out. And I said to my brother, that was the same thing what happened with me when we saw that thing. You just see the invitation. Hello, here I am. You will. And earlier I would wow, I'm in grief, and oh my God, and sadness. And then I saw this, whoops, and out. Okay, and we laughed, and I said to my brother, and then with him, an hour later, something else happened, and we just the same thing, because
Your
yes, my
brother's very
brother now
open, isn't he? You have a great
completely we are on the
relationship.
same thing. And
Yes.
after I had my total revelation, or how do you say, recognition or realization, I immediately went to him. I told him, because we are really completely on the same level. And yes, oh my God, yes. And still he's feeling it's too easy. I feel a lot of people find it too easy, but
Yes.
for me, the simpler and the easier it is, the more it's real, it's true.
Yes.
How can being be difficult?
Yes.
It's not possible. So for me, I see now that but of course, because I had the duality, or I believe in duality, and the whole word is just about effort and doing, and all the dark side of the yin yang. I couldn't believe that it was really so simple.
It was quite interesting looking at your experiences through childhood and through earlier life, in the way the invitations were a kind of opposite of what's true. So they were inviting you into this idea that you were limited, and that you needed to hide away from the world. And but quite often it's good to review the invitations, because usually they're inviting us into believing the opposite of what our true potential is.
Maybe yes. I heard you saying that to somebody. And when I heard that, I said, oh my goodness. And it's true that it's so amazing that now I know that, in fact, deep inside, you always know.
Yes.
But because the heaviness of the world and what we learn at school and through everybody, and especially the religion things, where I have been in, oh my God, I'm not going to describe what I have been through with the religious stuff. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
I knew, no, it's not, it's impossible, it's impossible, it's impossible. It's impossible. Something inside of me, there was too much joy in my being to take this as reality. But I had to be a good guy, a good girl. So I allowed the invitations to make me very, 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 very small. And no longer shine my light and be the brightness and be open and spontaneous and happy and joyful, because that's so dangerous. So I had so much fear to be persecuted. That's what I know now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You won through in the end, though.
Yes. 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 And now still, there is now is the invitation to really allow myself to be seen. And
well, it's great to see that there are two sources of invitation. So there are the ones which come from the mind, which are inviting us into a very limited perception. But then the invitations coming from our true nature are much more expansive and aligning us with the true possibilities and what you came here for, really.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So it's it'll be great to just see how that presents itself to you, really.
Yes, I'm very curious too. What's going to happen? But now there has always been so much trust, and knowing that everything will. Well, yes, everything what needs to happen will come and will be there, and so every day, every morning, I say, God, this is your day. Just I allow whatever comes. Yes, I'm always curious, very curious what will happen. And I meet so many people, and even with my husband, it has such a beautiful and a difficult relationship, there is only gratitude and love for him and for everything what happened in my life, everything. Even every sad part it has been the seed. It is the seed of how do you call that? Also, a tree it starts as a seed,
Yes,
and then it can be a huge, so emerging. It could that's the word what I was.
Yes.
It has only be the seed to be able to emerge, even though I don't know what yet, what kind of tree, but I don't care. Universe knows, God knows, life knows. So whatever, even though if my life would stop, no, I know, like, it's okay.
Yeah,
it has been great. It has been the allowance of that it's the ease and the effortlessly and the knowing of I am, but I awareness, I beingness, and that's it.
so simple.
So simple.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And yeah, it's great the way you describe things. It's interesting with you because lots of people have very challenging childhoods, but the way yours was really so nice. But then the invitations into sort of become invisible because you were triggering so many people.
Yes.
But it's good you're through all that. But it's yeah, it's been interesting because we spoke first a couple of years ago, and then we had another conversation, and it was so nice to receive your email saying that there was realization, and I love the description of the way that unfolded, and just it was really stepping into your sovereignty, just to, accepting, that your experience was valid and your own inner knowing was the thing to follow, really.
Exactly, that's the right word. The intuition and the sovereignty. I didn't believe in it anymore, and then I saw, oh my God, it's really, well, that's it. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Annemieke. That's been lovely.
So grateful that I don't know, and it's okay that I don't know, but what you are doing, David, is unbelievable because it's so effortlessly and so simple. And also because even if we mention the personal, I have no words, really no words.
Well, as you well know, it's nothing's happening on the personal level, really.
No, I know.
That's lovely, Annemieke. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, David. Thank you.